We welcome you to 12th Man Studios. Trev Alberts is Texas A&M's new athletics director, and we catch up with him fresh off of his welcome event in the Hall of Champions. And Trev, I think that's just a great way to start it. Welcome to Texas A&M, and I assume there's an excitement level that comes with this new venture.
Well, thank you very much. It certainly is. Obviously everybody's already treated us like family, and it's just been a little bit overwhelming for our family, but we're just so grateful to be here and so grateful to be part of this Aggie family, and just looking forward to getting started.
I think about your path to Texas A&M, and maybe just a little bit. It started in the early 90s. You even referenced Coach Slocum in your remarks. And down here in those days, the Aggies were playing great defense, and we called it the Wrecking Crew. And at the same time, you're at Nebraska, great defense, and you called it the Black Shirts. Now, if defense gets a nickname, that means you're playing it really well. Is that maybe when an eye toward A&M started with you as a player at Nebraska and knowing that they were doing it really well down here at Texas A&M too?
Oh yeah, under Coach Slocum, you knew that Texas A&M had a real football team, right? They did things the right way. They were a physical football team and fundamentally sound, and at the end of the day, great defensive teams. And I know all of my offensive former teammates will tell you how important offense is, and obviously you got to score points. But if you want to win some championships, you got to have a great defense. You got to stop people. You got to be physical, set the tone on defense. And so yeah, you look at Texas A&M, and then I had a teammate in Indianapolis, Quentin Coriat, was my teammate with the Colts for a while. I had a lot of respect for him. Tremendous football player. So yeah, you look back to those days, and Texas A&M was always a football program the university had a lot of respect for, just because of how they operated, how they conducted themselves, and quite frankly, that was a direct reflection of the head coach, R.C. Slocum.
Now you arrive at Texas A&M, and the NCAA basketball tournament is starting. And look what has happened with both the men's and women's bracket. Do you laugh a little bit and kind of say, wow, look what we stepped into. Here we go, the Aggies and the Cornhuskers, men's and women's first rounds.
Well, it seems just a little bit too coincidental, if you ask me. But look, I'm really proud of Nebraska head coaches, Coach Williams and Coach Hoiberg. They worked really hard for that opportunity, and obviously had a chance to spend a little time with Coach Williams here and Coach Taylor. So you're just happy for those coaches and student athletes. And the real point is it needs to be about student athletes and coaches. It's not administrations change, people move jobs, but those are four good basketball programs, and it'll be fun to watch. And but yeah, I think it was a little bit coincidental that the committee chose to put Texas A&M on the same line as Nebraska.
Yeah, no doubt. When you get started, as you get going here, what are some things you need to find out about Texas A&M before you start making critical decisions when it comes to this athletics department and university?
Well, first of all, you really have to dive into what's really important to Texas A&M. I say this all the time. This is not my athletic department. It's not my university. This belongs to Aggies, right? And so it's on me to learn about the traditions, the things that matter, learn from General Welsh, all those types of things. So I think there's just a period of familiarizing yourself. I'm fairly confident based on everybody I've talked to. There's just tremendous people here. To start, that's what it really comes down to. It comes down to people. Obviously, the facilities are the facilities. You can see it. It's remarkable. It's unbelievable what the 12th Man Foundation has done here, and Travis and others who've worked so hard, our donors, trustees, to make this place special. So it's on me to learn as much as I can and really dive into everything Texas A&M, and ultimately, at the end of the day, we'll make recommendations and decisions that we think are in the best long-term interest of Texas A&M. Not me, but Texas A&M. So I think that's why the learning process is so critical at the start.
And we're in a day and age of a changing time in college athletics. Does that make the job more difficult? I mean, how does it work in the AD role now that so many things change at such a rapid pace, it seems like?
Well, I think so. That's why I think transparency and communication is so important, because if you look back, and in my time even at Nebraska as the AD, we were working on things, and you'd be communicating with the trustees and donors, and all of a sudden, the goalposts just keep changing and shifting, and so you have to stay in front of it. You have to constantly be communicating. You have to be transparent and really working with key stakeholders and decision makers. But yeah, that's the fact. I mean, you have to understand that this is evolving and changing rapidly, and you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because at the end of the day, this is very uncomfortable. A lot of people didn't sign up for this. There are things that are happening to us, not because of us. And so, our ability and whoever's ability to adjust and adapt to those emerging trends and realities, the better we're at that, the better we're going to be able to position this to be competitive. And that's the goal. That's what we'll do. And quite frankly, I kind of enjoy that. So it's okay with me.
And finally, this to leave a place like Nebraska, which means a lot to you, did you truly have to see something special in Texas A&M to make you move and take this job?
Absolutely. You know, I mean, obviously Nebraska is an alum. I spent a lot of time there. It'll always be special to me. And then, you know, from time to time, professionally, jobs come along. You start looking at them, and I always had an admiration, respect for Texas A&M. Obviously, I talked a little bit about the agricultural component, the military component, but you know, you really dive into leadership because these are tough days, right? This is an evolving time, and so if you're going to be in the trenches with somebody, you want to know you got somebody that knows what they're doing and has your back. And I'll take a four-star general. And so, you know, General Wells, just the way he leads, leadership really matters to me. And I just want to lock arms with somebody that I'm willing to follow, an authentic, genuine leader. That's who I found him to be. And we've just signed him to a new 10-year contract, which I have no authority to do. But just looking forward to working with him and his team and all the team within athletics. I think this is a place that has limitless opportunities, frankly.
Great to have you in Aggieland. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you.
Trev Alberts inside 12th Man Studios in the south end zone of Kyle Field.